The Brilliance Foundation Incorporated, in collaboration with the Bridge to Turkey Fund, BTF, successfully hosted a mental health awareness seminar at the Turkish House Conference Center. The event brought together professionals, advocates, and community members with a shared goal to challenge the stigma surrounding mental health. The panel featured an impressive lineup of speakers, including Dr. Özlem Gunal, Dr. Sidra Kadir, Dr. Madiha Shahzadi, Dr. Claudine Smith, and Kalsum Kazmi, CEO of Brilliance Foundation Incorporated. Also present was Neslihan Onder Spada, BTF New York/NJ Circle leader, who coordinated the event and served as the main point of contact. Speakers shared valuable insights on the importance of open conversation and education, emphasizing that understanding and compassion are key to creating a judgment-free environment for those experiencing mental health challenges. Mental health is not just a medical issue, it's a community issue. We need more safe spaces like this for dialogue and healing, said Dr. Claudine Smith. The event also highlighted the role of mental health professionals in early diagnosis, culturally sensitive care, and community outreach, with support from organizations like Summit Oaks Hospital. With events like this, the Brilliance Foundation and its partners are making bold strides toward a future where mental well-being is prioritized and stigma is left behind. Please watch an exclusive report by Dunya International and Global TV USA.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sidra Kadir. I am from Pakistan and I'm working here in the US as a Chief Medical Officer at Summit Oaks Hospital in Summit, New Jersey. And we were meeting here today to discuss mental health, what are the various factors affecting it, what are the treatment options that are available, and to have the public come on board with the idea of seeking help and getting to know more about what makes mental illness what it is. So that's what we are doing here, and hopefully it benefited the people who came in.
I am a medical doctor, and after that I worked as a researcher for years, and currently I am doing brain research on psychiatric disorders, basic brain research at New Jersey Medical School, Rutgers New Jersey Medical School. So I was approached by the organizers of this committee to give a talk about the recent research about mental disorders and how they are important about the stigma in mental disorders. So my research focuses on understanding the pathophysiology of mental health disorders. So I think it's really important to give this information to general public. So I've been here in the United States for the last close to 30 years doing brain research.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is truly an honor to welcome you all to this important gathering. Our mental health awareness seminar, an initiative by the Brilliance Foundation and Bridge to Turkey. Today we come together to shine a light on a subject that has too many and often been kept in the shadows: mental health stigma. Around the world, millions of people silently battle anxiety, depression, trauma, and emotional stress. Yet many of them never seek help. Not because support isn't there, but because stigma still stands in the way. Too often, mental health struggles are seen as weakness instead of a part of our shared human experience. This silence costs lives, relationships, and the well-being of communities. At the Brilliance Foundation, we believe that the breaking this stigma begins with education, empathy, and open dialogue. Through our programs and advocacy, we aim to build understanding, reminding everyone that mental health is just as important as physical health. By talking about it, by learning, and by supporting one another, we can help to create a world where no one feels ashamed to ask for help. So we will begin today's seminar. Let's share and learn with open hearts and open minds. Together we can help and replace stigma with compassion, ignorance with awareness, and silence with understanding. Thank you very much for being here, and most importantly, I'm really thankful to our wonderful, very accomplished panel. I would like to say nothing can be better to support our communities and humanity than sharing your valuable skills. And these professionals who travel here from New Jersey, New York, and just to make it and share their part for this work. So please give a big hand of applause to our panelists. Now I would like to invite my partner, my dear friend, Nestle Hand, to start her way of sharing today's program.
So good afternoon and welcome. On behalf of Bridge to Turkey Fund, thank you so much being here at Turkish House. Mental health is really inspiring to see. It's really inspiring to see so many of you gather for such an important topic, mental health. We all know mental health is just as important as physical health for our children, for our families, for our friends, and for ourselves. But too often it's surrounded by silence or stigma. Today we want to change that. We are here to talk, to learn, to support one another, to build a community where compassion and understanding come first. At Bridge to Turkey Fund, our mission has always been to stand those who need support through the education, health, and emotional well-being programs. In the earthquake-affected areas, region, our volunteers and partners have worked tirelessly, offering therapy, creative works, and safe space for children, teens, women, men, and families. So thank you for being here today, for listening, learning, and joining this conversation. And heartfelt thank you to Brilliance Foundation for partnering with us to make this event possible.
I would like to invite the moderator of today's program. Dr. Claudine Smith is a dear friend and president of Toastmaster International, my colleague, and since many years we are listening to each other, but now we are sharing this part here. Please welcome our moderator for today, Dr. Claudine Smith.
Good afternoon again.
Good afternoon.
What an awesome privilege for me to be here, to be moderating this program with such a star-studded staff here to present for us today. I think there are two introductory videos that they would like to play, one from Brilliance and one from BTF.
Foundation International, we believe that true brilliance begins with good health, the health of both body and mind. A healthy community is the foundation of a progressive, compassionate, and empowered society. Brilliance Foundation International has always been dedicated to creating awareness, spreading education, and inspiring care across all walks of life. Our mission is simple yet powerful: to bring communities together through education, empathy, and meaningful action. Through our health and wellness chapter, the Foundation has successfully organized multiple seminars, workshops, and awareness campaigns focused on physical well-being, nutrition, hygiene, and preventive care. These initiatives are designed to help individuals understand their bodies better, make informed health choices, and adopt sustainable lifestyles. But we believe that health isn't only physical, it's also emotional and psychological. Recognizing the importance of mental wellness, Brilliance Foundation International has taken bold steps toward addressing issues such as stress, anxiety, depression, and burnout. Our sessions and discussions encourage open dialogue, helping people realize that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Every project we undertake reflects our firm belief that awareness leads to action, and action leads to change. By working closely with healthcare professionals, educators, and volunteers, the Foundation continues to touch lives, promote resilience, and foster a sense of collective responsibility for well-being. Our vision is clear: to build a world where wellness is not a privilege but a shared right, accessible to everyone regardless of background or circumstance. Together, we are nurturing a healthier, happier, and more aware generation. One that values both physical vitality and mental peace. Brilliance Foundation International, because every life deserves to shine.
We're here today talking about mental health and wellness, and I'm sure we're going to hear this afternoon how to actually share this information with others and for ourselves, make sure we're checking in and being all right. Mental health issues affect 1 billion people. Now there are 8 billion people in the world, so 1/8 of the world's population suffer from mental health. 1 in 4 of us will suffer some kind of mental illness throughout our lives. And today we're going to start though with sleep. Dr. Shahzadi.
Today my topic is to talk about the sleep and why the sleep is important and how the sleep is related to the mental health. Okay, so first of all, why the sleep is important and why do we sleep and what type of the sleep you are even attaining, and there are the different types of the sleep. Just want to let you know. So the sleep is important because if you are going to sleep, then you are going to have better energy, better immune system. You are going to have the ability to manage your daily life activity. You are going to have a better decision making, and you are going to have a better concentration. There are the different stages and the types of the sleep. We all sleep, and it's difficult to make you guys also sometimes understand that even when you are sleeping, you are not having a full energy. And what is the reason for that? The reason is that which type of the sleep stage are you even attaining? So there are the two main types of the sleep. One is the non-REM sleep and the other is the REM sleep. And that sleep cycle, that is the normal sleep cycle everyone needs to attain. So, and the REM sleep is also sometimes called the dream sleep. And if you are not going to have that REM cycle properly, then you can have the high risk factor to develop different type of the neurodegenerative diseases and also the mental issue. So usually we have to go into the light sleep and the deep sleep. And there is a percentages of the sleep which every human being needs to attain. And if they are not attained in the proper way, then that can cause the problem. There are the different type of the problems which are related to the sleep. The main problems, which is the two main common problem. One is insomnia, that you are not having a proper sleep. Either you have a difficulty in falling into sleep or either you have a difficulty in maintaining a sleep. And the other big problem is the sleep apnea.
both of them, I will say, very, very underdiagnosed problem. And that's why we very emphasize that everyone, if they have a problem regarding the sleep, then we emphasize that they need to seek the help and get the sleep specialist. So the one thing which I want to talk first is called obstructive sleep apnea. What is the obstructive sleep apnea? Basically, that there is the recurrent episode of partial or the complete collapse of your airway. The opening of the windpipe during your sleep, it does not remain open. And there are the different causes of that. The simple symptom which many of you know, that the people snore. But it is not necessarily that the people who are not snoring, they cannot have sleep apnea. So any person who is snoring at the night time and feeling daytime tiredness and fatigue needs to get evaluated for the sleep apnea. And why it is important? Because if the opening of the windpipe is going to be closed during the sleep especially, then there are going to be the two different type of the consequences. Number one is the cardiometabolic consequences, like you are going to be at high risk of developing the heart problem, high blood pressure, diabetes, heart attack, stroke. And the second is that how it can affect your memory and the other brain problems. What we can do, there is very easy way that how we can screen someone for the sleep apnea. We ask couple of questions. We look at the BMI, which is a body mass index, which is the ratio of the weight and height. We look at the neck circumference. We look at the age and then also the gender, mostly male. And we ask a couple of questions and then we order something which is called the sleep study. Now with the passage of time, everything is becoming easier and we are also trying to do the easier thing. And then there is something which is called Epworth Sleepiness Scale, which we will ask the people. And believe me, it is sometimes I am amazed when I am getting a very high score on that. If someone else is driving and you are sitting next to that driver and the driving distance is more than 1 hour and you are falling asleep, and you wish to fall into a sleep, then that is also the high risk, even you are not driving. And if you are sleeping in the movie theater, then that is also another risk factor, that your mind is not able to remain awake. How we diagnose nowadays? With a home sleep study. And why the home sleep study? To be very frank, realistically, that is because the insurance now only approve the home sleep study and no one wants to spend the money on having this out-of-pocket thing. So we have a lot of wearable right now. A lot of people come with the Apple Watch and the other devices, Fitbit, and the other type of the application which you can download on your iPhone or on the Android, and then you can check your sleep and it will tell you the light sleep or the deep sleep you are attaining, what is happening to your heart rate and what is happening to your oxygen level. So those devices are becoming now much more smaller and smaller with the passage of time. Even in the Europe right now we have a ring which is not FDA approved still in the USA, and in Germany especially they are doing the study on that. The patient just wear the one ring and that one ring will calculate that how is your oxygen level and how many times you are stopped breathing at the night time. So the technology is getting advanced and advanced in that, and it's very important to find out those things because again the purpose is that early detection. The purpose is that to give the awareness. And if we find out the problems earlier, then we can control them earlier. Believe me, it is just finding out the cancer at the stage 1 better than instead of finding out the cancer at the stage 4. I have a lot of people who come to me with all the complications which you can have with the sleep problems. I have the people who are coming with the atrial fibrillation, heart attack, and when the irregular heart rhythm is happening, the cardiologists, the electrophysiologists, the cardiac surgeons, they are doing the specialized type of the procedure, which is like they are shocking the heart, they are trying to do like ablation, like trying to cut the electric circuit of the heart, and the problem is still there. And then they say, oh no, until and unless we are not going to treat the sleep apnea, these problems are going to stay there.
We're going to go on to our second presenter, who is Dr. Gunal, and she is an assistant professor of psychiatry, pharmacology, physiology, and neuroscience at the Rutgers, New Jersey Medical School.
First, I want to thank the organizers for inviting me and thank you all for joining. So I will start with what contributes to mental health. So there are several factors that contribute to mental health. Biological factors such as genes, diseases, some inflammatory diseases, hormones, drugs, alcohol, the changes in brain chemistry, and some physiological factors like beliefs, emotions, cognitive biases, and some social factors like family history, stress, trauma, and discrimination. I will focus on the biological factors in this talk because I study them, and also the other reason is our brain is a very delicate system. So there are 100 billion brain cells in the brain, 100 trillion connections between those brain cells. There are neurotransmissions, there are chemicals secreted, and there are intracellular signal molecules. During development, all these form. So an insult at any stage of this development may cause the change of the function, and then it may cause mental health disorder. So mental health is really essential in people's life in the same way as physical health. In 2020, the statistics from 2020 show that 1 in 5 American adults experience a mental health condition in a given year. 1 in 6 young people have experienced a major depressive episode. 1 in 20 Americans have lived with a serious mental illness. So these are the mental health topics that we study: anxiety disorders, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder. There are co-occurring conditions: depression, eating disorders, post-traumatic stress disorder, schizophrenia, self-harm, and substance use disorder. So how the biological cause, how does it help that we know the biological cause? Providing the information about the biological cause may help, may increase help seeking. So people may be more preventive, show more preventive behaviors. They may access the treatment better, and also this make it easier to seek medical help without feeling personal failure. Also, this can decrease feelings of guilt and shame of the affected individual and increase acceptance from others. And another way that it helps is like everyone has some kind of genetic risk for various diseases. So this helps with the normalization of this.
So again, my name is Dr. Kadir. Thank you so much for joining us here today. It's an important conversation. I'm so proud of all of us for taking time out of our Saturdays and being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I wanted to bring the conversation back to the very fundamentals of what is it to really be well. We say, I'm doing well, I'm doing okay. What does it mean to be well? And then what does it mean to have a mental illness? So we talk about stigma, we talk about all of the treatment options, we talk about our emotions towards it. But what does it really mean? How do we tell somebody is well and somebody is not well? And what is crisis? So I wanted to just bring our attention back to the very foundations of this. So, okay, going back. So in terms of where we stand today, the reason I got thinking about this is when we look at our phone screens constantly, day in and day out, there is a barrage of pictures coming in. People looking pretty, they have life that are well put together, they have a 9 to 5 and they have a 5 to 9 and they have a morning routine and they have a night routine. And we compare ourselves to that projection of an image and think, is that wellness? Is that what it really means to be well? But the interesting thing is that everything right now is externally motivated. It's productivity. How much money are you making? When do you wake up in the morning? Do you have your kids in order? Are you doing 100% of the things that you're expected to do with 100% of outcomes? So everything is externally driven But when I talk to my patients and when we sit down and really try and understand, they tell me I can just internally feel that I'm not well. My life is in order. I'm still waking up in the morning. I'm still going to work. I haven't taken any leave, but I know that I'm not doing well, right? I don't feel well. I can't put my finger on it, but I can feel well. So what is it that they are talking about, right? So when we talk about wellness, I'm glad to report that we have moved away from the concept of absence of mental illness as wellness. A long time ago, we used to think if somebody does not have mental illness, they should be well, or they are considered to be well, right? Unfortunately or fortunately, they're not synonymous. There are things that differentiate wellness, and there's a spectrum of it. How well are you really, right? So the WHO actually defines wellness as having the ability to realize your potential, the ability to just cope with the stress, your work productivity, and your contribution to the community. If you look at all of these standards, they are all externally driven, right? They're all outcomes. You are contributing to the community. You are waking up in the morning and doing the hard work, right? All of these indicators that WHO identified, they are all externally driven. But when we, again, ask the patient, they just have an internal feeling of wellness or not so well, right? So what are those external feelings? Typically, when patients come to me, they have a loss of sense of autonomy. I don't have a control over my life the way I used to feel. The life doesn't feel as meaningful as it used to feel. I wake up and I do the things, but I don't get the pleasure out of it. It doesn't feel like I want to go out and play. I used to golf, I used to do all the things. The play is lost, right? And then sometimes there's also a concept of self-awareness. I know that I need help, and I'm here to get that help. That whole aspect is a part of wellness. All of those people are well because we all live on the spectrum. So one day somebody is going to feel very well. They are going to have the sense of autonomy, motivation, energy. They're going to be able to interact with an environment successfully. They're going to be able to navigate their relationships with a lot of success, difficult parents, difficult kids. We do it and then we enjoy it and then we move on. But some days we are not 100% productive in that endeavor. So it's a spectrum of where you are on any given day. When you start to think about wanting to get help, that means that something is changing, right? What is it that's changing? So I want to draw your attention to also this. Again, I think you have read the questions, but pretty much where is the convergence between mental illness and wellness? Are there things that remain constant when somebody falls ill? When somebody is mentally ill, do they have some part of themselves that stays intact, right? Is it something that is unaffected by the mental illness? Is there something like that? I think we will find out. So Dr. Gunal has done an exceptional job at just explaining the cause, what causes mental illness, right? So when we talk about the understanding of it, it typically is a change of condition. Something standard or baseline was happening, and then something changed in that particular condition. So it's a change of state that typically impacts your behavior, thoughts, emotions, and your ability to perform in the community.
So the patient who has a sleep apnea and the oxygen is going down, the patient is surviving, but the patient is having atrial fibrillation, patient is having diabetes mellitus, patient is having stroke, patient is having heart failure. So this tolerance is basically costing the patient life.
My 12-year-old, who thinks that he's very smart, he told me that because he's using too much phone, maybe he needs some melatonin. He came to me with this confidence to try to impress me that, Mom, I also know something. Because of the light, I think so we all need to have a melatonin. And I was telling him, no. And when I asked him from where I know, this is all TikTok or some friend told him, no, Mama, so many people are taking the melatonin and that is good for your health and all those things. No, you don't need melatonin. There is enough melatonin in your body. You are exposing yourself to the blue light and you are destroying that melatonin by yourself. So why not we will cut down that blue light?
There's 6 pillars of lifestyle: our nutrition, our rest, our exercise, good connectivity, avoiding substance, and we need to always get good company, right? So these are areas that it's in our hands to do. And when you do that, that epigenetic factor and influence on our genes that we're set up for will not necessarily present as our families or we see it going. So maybe in the world of AI, we'll see it looking totally different. But if you get proper sleep, proper eating, proper rest, and all the other good stuff as far as lifestyle medicine, you will see a lot of our diseases lessen. The chronic, the mental, the chronic diseases, diabetes, hypertension, all those other things. So I think we have in our hands our life, our lifestyle that we can impact, and then we'll see much better improvement in our health system.
Thank you very much.
So I am glad. I really want to thank Summit Health. I think presented or supported or somehow sponsored this part, and I really appreciate your input. And Doctors Kadir, Ganal, and Shazadi. I thank you very much for your star-studded presentation. Thank you.
Easily beautiful.